Hello, Angie Gerber here, and welcome to my podcast, Awareness. Once you know, you can't unknow. A place you can come to start thinking and shifting your thoughts to finally create the results you truly, truly desire. It'll shift your mindset and give you strategies to get out there and get it done. Let's get started. So as I was naming this episode, Your Future's So Bright started playing in my head. And I honestly kind of come up really quickly with the titles for these podcast episodes. And that one, I just heard that song, Your Future's So Bright, Gotta Wear Shades. And I'm like, yep, that's it. Because it truly is. Your future can be so bright that you have to wear sunglasses because it's blinding. It's so beautiful and it's so worthy of you. It'll knock you over with a feather. You will just not even know what happened. And that can be any of us. You know, make your future your magnificent obsession. Build a bigger version of yourself. It's a process. Fall in love with failures. It's a process of becoming the best version of yourself. You know, we've talked about in past episodes, 1% more every day. What can you do to be bold, to be 1% more bold than you were yesterday? Or take a risk, 1% more. I mean, just 1% every day in over 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, a year. Imagine what it would look like. I was just listening to Raj Vasuki, one of Bob Proctor's students and protege. He is doing a 2-day seminar. I would look him up if you can on YouTube. He's pretty phenomenal. I love listening to him. And he's talking about the 4 pillars of success. And really, it's image, your standard, your attitude, and your discipline. And it starts with our self-image. You are never going to outperform how you think of yourself or your self-image. So do you need to start working on your self-image? What standard do you show up as? You know, standard, I remember Jack Canfield, I believe it was talking about a gentleman. His name escapes me. But his whole thing was he would only eat cake on a full moon. And he was getting an amazing, prestigious, just this award that he'd been working for years and years and years. I mean, he was in his 70s when he received this award, and it wasn't a full moon. And they actually had people dress up as a full moon with the sun and the moon, you know, like, here it is, you can have some cake. You know, so many people would be like, yeah, I deserve it. It's one time. I can have my cake and eat it too, because this is my day. Look at what I've done. And he held strong because he had a standard. Like, I understand. I appreciate everyone here and you enjoy, you take part. It's not my standard. He held himself to such a high standard. He wouldn't let anyone take that away from him. And then your attitude. What attitude do you have towards yourself, towards others, towards your goals, towards things that happen throughout the day, both good and bad? You know, a leader and very successful people, they thrive and they show up at the highest level when things are going the worst or the most wrong, or they're up against just adversity and not knowing what to do. I mean, that's where you shine. So what attitude do you have when things show up? Or do you make every little thing an emergency and get completely off track and let everything go because you let the outside control what you do and how you show up? And discipline. How disciplined are you to really get what it is you want out of yourself, out of your goals, whether that be in business, in personal life, in health, in wealth, spirituality, you know, anything, relationships with your kids or your spouse, or again, people at work, all of that, it all matters. You know, success is not permanent and failure is not fatal. You can be successful today And if you don't work at it and work on your image, work on your standard, your attitude, your discipline every day, it can slip away. And failure is not fatal. Truly, if you're not failing, you're not stretching. You're not looking at the 1% where you're just going to be bold. You're going to take a risk. And if it doesn't work, the world's not going to implode. You're not going to fall over and just be no longer here. I mean, we just put such at least I did. I put such an onus on what people thought. Like I said, I was that girl in the back of the room that would barely raise my hand in school because I was so nervous and scared and anxious about giving the wrong answer. Even if the question was 2 + 2, I would hesitate because what if I said the wrong thing? What would happen then? And like Bob said, you think so many people are always thinking about you and you care so much what other people think, and most of the time they're not thinking about you. I always love that. He said that. Another thing he said, Bob Proctor, is you are the only problem you'll ever have, and you are the only solution. So why not bet on yourself? Go all in that you can do whatever it is you want. Have extreme ownership, 100% ownership about what you do and how you show up. Every time you make excuses, you're working with the weakest part of you. You're at your weakest point when you show up and you make excuse after excuse after excuse. It's when you're extremely accountable that you're working with the strongest part of you. Fall in love with the process of becoming the best version of yourself. And your results will always tell you the truth. If you're not liking your results, back it up. What are you thinking? What are you obsessing on? Do you have a magnificent obsession that you have and you're building towards it in this bigger, better version of yourself, of your goals every day? Your results will tell you what you're focused on. Once you make your goal, it's already here. Just be neutral about where you're at right now. When you look at your relationships or your job, maybe you're not in the position you want, or waiting for a promotion, or your bank account, whatever it may be neutral about it. Say, isn't that interesting? This is pretty interesting. Don't be positive. Don't be negative, good or bad. Just know, you know what? It's interesting. You need to know it's interesting. You need to understand it. And then you need to know what you want. That's interesting. And this is what I want. This is what I'm going for. You got to learn, be willing to unlearn, and relearn. And that is how you will continue to grow. You will not get to where you want to go from the place you are today. So what do you need to unlearn and relearn? Once you make the decision of what you want, the wall will come down. The thing is if you don't know what you want, you will remain and continue to get the same. You'll be in the same place. You'll get much of the same. When you study this material and you're focused on your goal, you're getting on the right frequency. And then you do that in the morning, like I talked about, positive affirmations, writing your goal down, imagination, imagining it's already here and done. You do that for, a half hour, 5 minutes, whatever you can do in the morning. And then what are you doing the rest of the day? Are you focusing on worry, doubt, and fear? Are you focused on the problems and looking at your current results and letting them make you feel a certain way? And if you are, you're sending what Raj says is a double binding message. And your subconscious is going to go with the worry, the fear, the doubt. So your results, they won't change. So another thing that was mentioned would be to set an alarm. Every 2 to 3 hours, set an alarm on your phone and just take, if you can, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however, 2 minutes, whatever you can do, and just really focus on your goal. Spend time focusing on what you do want and go into that frequency and that vibration and really feel it as much as you can throughout the day. Focus on what you do want and stop focusing on what you don't want or what you're worried about or the doubt or the fear. Because either way, you're going to show up and you're going to think one way or the other. So why not think in the positive? Use your imagination for what you do want. Get yourself feeling better. Get yourself vibration up. Your daily behaviors lead to strong action, which develops a strong self-image. So what are your behaviors? Are you behaving like someone that has already achieved what you're looking to achieve? Behaviors. Think about that in it. 1% better. It goes back to that. Do something every day that's 1% better. Start with your self-image and your behaviors and how you're showing up. And if you're part of the 95 out of 100 people when asked what their goals are, what they want that do not know, start there. Write out what it is you want the most. Write out and let yourself just dream, envision, and imagine, and go for the gold. If you could have the perfect day today, if in 1 year you could have your story written out in your life and you're the star of your movie, what would that movie play out like? Write that out. Get that in the present tense. I'm so happy and grateful now that I live here. I've gone here, there, and there on my ultimate dream vacations. I have this relationship. I am doing this for work. And I don't even call it work because I get to do it. I don't have to do it. And I'm blessed beyond compare. I live here. I drive this. Whatever it is that you want, write it down. And if it's not materialistic, that's fine too. Just spiritually connect to whatever it is. Write it out and then speak it as much as you can to get you into that feeling. Again, every 2 to 3 hours, even if it's a part of it. Use your imagination and really shut your eyes and feel as if it's already here and done. Focus your energy there. You build the new and quit fighting the old model. Quit showing up and fighting the worry, fear, doubt. Just quit trying to fight it and battle with it. Just get neutral about it. Say, that's interesting, and decide what you do want and focus on that. And over with repetition and start impressing it upon your subconscious. Build the new vision and quit fighting the old or current reality. If you don't, you're going to continue to get much of the same. It's like a vicious circle and cycle. And that's why 95 out of 100 people are exactly where they were a year ago. They're in the exact same spot as they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago. There might be some little bit of improvement or change. And until you go inside and do this work, nothing changes if nothing changes. Thinking into results, it's phenomenal. And I'm actually, if you look in the show notes, starting a group session because I want this to get into as many people's hands as I possibly can. So I'm doing an extremely discounted rate just to get people introduced to this and get involved in it and understand more. And at that point, you'll get an awareness that you'll never can be taken away from you. And you get to understand what all this process is and how you can do this and really be able to decide if it's something that you want to invest in while getting high level, really impactful coaching. So if it's something that you're interested in and want to learn more about, reach out to me. It's going to start in about a month, and I promise you, it will change everything. I've never offered it like this before in a big group setting, and I'm just so excited. It's going to be phenomenal. So reach out if it's something you want to learn more about. Thanks for spending some time with me today. And if you like what you heard, feel free to share, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever it is you do. I'd love to get this out to as many people as possible because it truly all does start with awareness. Once you know, you cannot unknow, and it changes everything. And of course, if I can help in any way, I'm here and happy to do so. Until next time, make it a good one.